This is the Eye for an Eye channel. Welcome to today's show. I've been meaning to cover this from Lana Del Rey. I've covered Lana Del Rey many times in the past, and I'll continue to cover Lana Del Rey and all these celebrities who are openly witches who are spellcasting on their audiences. And of course, most of the people in the audience actually do hear videos like this and they just laugh it off because some, for whatever reason, don't believe in witchcraft, don't believe that these artists, these witches, are using frequencies on them. And of course, since this event occurred a couple years ago, I don't know if you remember this event where we were all locked up, et cetera, and a lot of people, did a certain something to themselves. Well, since then, we've seen more and more bizarre things happening at concerts. And that's, of course, because of the contents of what they put inside of their body, which would be graphene oxide, and how that reacts to radio waves and frequencies. So one of the things you might remember is Travis Scott. At the time when the Travis Scott concert happened, when that bizarre behavior was going on and people perished at the event, of course, Travis Scott didn't seem to care at all, neither did the Kardashian clan. They were out partying that night and, of course, just chalked it up as if it was just some people at a concert, being a little overly ruckus. But the fact of the matter is that they were attacked with frequencies. Now, these artists are using it more and more on people. It doesn't mean that they haven't used frequencies in the past, but now that these people have a certain something inside their body, it's having a different kind of effect. And then when these events happen, I'm going to show you, like at this Lana Del Rey concert where a wave of people just fainted, they're trying to dismiss this as if it's a normal occurrence, right? You might remember I covered Taylor Swift. Even recently, I re-showed the clip where people were leaving Taylor Swift's concerts with amnesia. Now they're trying to, you have Taylor Swift, you have Travis Scott, you have an event like this. They're trying to call this the domino effect, as if this is normal. As if it's normal for people to go to a concert and faint all at once. And you'll see this clip. And, this isn't normal. But, of course, underneath videos that are posted about this from a Lana Del Rey concert a few weeks ago, of course they have some type of fact-checking to explain it. Because they need to explain away these types of events and things. Because they don't want these witches to end up having happened to them what's happened to witches in the past, of course. Especially in today's society where they're all the celebrities and famous people, and people don't realize why this world's gone to hell in a handbasket. But here's the bizarre, which isn't really bizarre. Here's the witchcraft and the frequencies being used on the audience at the Lana Del Rey concert. So what people need to understand is Lana Del Rey is an openly admitted witch, and I'll show you this clip because a lot of you I know, as I move on from channel to channel, even though I'm a new YouTuber, I know that a lot of new people come in, and a lot of the old guard, I call them old guard, but a lot of the old subscribers end up fading away. They forget, they don't know where I am. They look for me, they can't find me. That's what happens. But the good thing is that I get new subscribers, so I have to constantly show them things that a lot of you who might still be here from the past have never seen before. So they don't know that Lana Del Rey is a witch. Lana Del Rey openly admits to being a witch. She did a huge spell casting ritual on Donald Trump. This, of course, ends up getting deflected and people joke about it and make light of it. And they're like, they're just fooling around. No, they're not. They're really witches. Here's a clip of the Lana Del Rey incident that happened a couple years ago.
Lana confirms that earlier this year, she actually attempted to use witchcraft to get rid of President Donald Trump. Instructed her fans to join a mass occult ritual against him. The love singer caused speculation over her witchy behavior. Now, those dates lined up with the waning crescent moon and also a worldwide witch-led movement to cast a binding spell to remove Donald Trump from office.
So Lana Del Rey is an admitted witch, right? She admits to being a witch. She admits to spell casting. This is where people just seem to automatically start dismissing this stuff because they don't believe, Christians too, they don't believe that this stuff is real, but it is real. And when we talk about using frequencies, things that we can't see in the air, the Bible tells us about this in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. Wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. So these are the children of disobedience. And they are using the power of the air. Hence, They call Lucifer the prince of the power of the air because all of this attack that's going on all of us is being used and done through the air, through means that we can't see with our own eyes, through other things, like they use energy weapons through the air. They use frequency weapons through the air. They dump chemicals on us through the air from the sky, right? And they get away with this stuff. Now, Lana Del Rey, of course, knows exactly what's going on here at her concert when she's spellcasting on her audience. Yet everybody out there sees these things as freak events. Oh, yeah, it's normal to leave a Taylor Swift concert and have amnesia. It's normal to go to a Lana Del Rey concert and the entire front row, who's closest to the sound system, just happens to just faint on cue, right? Oh, yeah, these are normal events. Of course, we have to just chalk it up to being normal because nobody can think too deep and nobody wants to think too deep because their heads might explode if they actually realize what's going on. So another thing to note with Lana Del Rey is that she had an album or a music video, right? About what? About chemtrails, remember? That's another way they hit you with graphene oxide is through the sky. Chemtrails over the country club, right? Always mocking us to our faces. I thought chemtrails weren't real. I thought they were really conscious. Oh, Lana Del Rey is just trolling us. Remember, that's the debunking that all these people use, right? This like we hear these people debunk on the news, etc. They don't debunk. They just use humor and deflect. They call it debunking nowadays. There's no, Lana Del Rey, oh, you put a lot of effort, time, and money into something to troll people like me who pretty much don't even allowed to have a voice anymore in today's society, but they tell you right to your face about chemtrails, what they really are, how they use chemtrails to dump graphene oxide. It's another way, like I said, to get graphene oxide onto people's skin, which is just another reason that I take supplement NAC. Which, again, if people ask me questions, you're not allowed to talk about this stuff on YouTube. They actually have a thing in there that says you can't give any recommendations on that type of stuff. I'm not sure how much water that holds when they threaten you about this kind of stuff. Because, again, if you criticize anyone, they call it bullying anyway. But I'm not going to risk a strike to get into that. That stuff let's talk about over on the website. And that's just something that I do. It doesn't mean that you'd have to do it. But obviously, we're getting drilled with all forms of radiation and frequencies all the time now. And people wonder why more people are sick, more people have mental health problems, more people are depressed, more people have anxiety. It's because of what they're doing. And they're mocking us openly. They're witches and Satanists who are doing this to mankind. And the scariest part about it is that these are the people who are worshipped. So they're even more empowered because the majority of zombies out there worship these celebrities. They worship these politicians. They love them. They can do no wrong in their eyes. So they'll never believe that these people whose shirts they have, whose CDs they have, whose posters on their walls they have, they'll never believe that they're doing this to us. But the reality is they are. That's why they're so hell-bent on silencing anyone that actually exposes what they do. So this manipulation that goes on at concerts, if you've seen some of the videos, I have a video up on Uprising Revival, my other channel, which is linked below. I'll leave the link in the description with that specific video where I show, where you can see, and listen to, I should say, John Todd, who is a former occultist, talking about this stuff. Now you might say, well, I don't really believe John Todd's legit, etc. That's perfectly fine, but listen to what he's talking about because that stuff is legit, what he's talking about. He explains it so thoroughly and well that I like to use that clip for newbies so that they could start learning and understanding how spellcasting is used in music, what they do to produce these records, how all these people in the record companies that you never hear about and don't know anything about, who own houses in the Hollywood Hills who are worth millions and billions of dollars, how they're all witches and warlocks and Satanists. And all they care about is spellcasting on you and destroying humanity. People are like, no, they just care about money. It's all about money and dollar bills. It's nothing to do with money. It's everything to do with Satan. For these people, okay? Money just comes to them. They're handed money. They really don't even know what to do with it, which is, hence, when I always reference Bill Gates and these people, and I say they have all the money in the world, like, just stop trying to intrude on everyone's lives. Well, that's all they care about is intruding on your life and enslaving you. They're bored with the money. They want control over you and your every move, and they're doing this for who they worship, their god, Lucifer. So, back to Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey, of course, has lyrics to songs, if you want to call them songs, spells, of course, where she's talked about, here's one it's called Tired of Singing the Blues by Lana Del Rey. Man who makes a beast out of himself got nothing to lose. Sold my soul long ago, nothing left to choose, right? So, all these types of lyrics we always hear. Like, when I talked recently, I was talking about magic, how they always use the term magic, how they always use the term one in their songs. How come nobody out there is suspicious about how often they talk about selling their soul? Like, what do they think? It's a running, trolling joke on people? The majority of people out there don't actually listen to the lyrics or understand what they're even saying. It's a small portion of us who out these people, and then we get silenced for outing them. So why would they constantly be doing this? because they're telling you this. This is part of the spell casting. They're literally telling you that they're Satanists, and then the people are listening and they're just in a daze because they're having spells cast on them. And they're worshiping these idols more and more. It's like hit Cupid with the arrow. They're just shooting it at these people, and their eyes, they're just drooling over them. It's utter insanity. I mean, these witches are dangerous. Satanists are dangerous. They're not just dangerous because of what they do in their rituals with children, etc. They're dangerous because of what they do using frequencies and other things on the masses. And all these people who are in control of corporations, of the people, you look at the cell towers, the people are like, oh, Verizon owns it, or AT&T, or You don't know who these people are, and we give trust to them. What authority did they ever, who granted them authority over the air where they could use frequencies on us? But nobody asked the questions, and nobody cares. Like, well, as long as I have service, I don't care. I don't care that it's giving me a brain tumor or anything else that's going on in my body that I can't see, because I can't see it. And you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist because I don't want to believe it. Right? Even though tons of doctors over the years have come out and talked about the dangers of cell phones. And this is back when it was just 1G, or, just the advent of the cell phone being normalized. Even around the time period of the cell phone in the car phones back in the 90s, or the Zach Morris phone, right? That we used to see in Saved by the Bell. Have you ever seen Saved by the Bell? Well, now the frequencies they're using are they're so over the top insane, and it's just going to get worse because your body's going to be connected to the internet of bodies. So like I showed in the video yesterday, if you didn't see, we're talking about 6G here. 6G is going to be inside of you.
Have such a good digital twin that you'll be able to go into the metaverse, into a virtual reality world, turn a dial, pull a switch, feel around, and actually change it in the real plant?
Absolutely. And this is not far off. I mean, the physical and the digital worlds, they will grow together, and the result is exactly what you just said.
I wanted to ask when you all think we're going to move from this form factor to something that's on your face, glasses, and when computing's all on the edge.
All right, 50 seconds. Who wants to answer quickly?
I think it will go. It will. First of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface. Wow. Many of these things will be built directly into our body.
They're using frequencies on all of us. And then you see the video clip that I put in there from Billboard, and it's a big joke, right? Everybody just dismisses this stuff. They openly admit to being witches and Satanists, and everybody has a big laugh about it. Does Lana Del Rey have a broomstick? Because this is the society we live in now, where this stuff gets dismissed and laughed off. They're literally admitting to it. It's like, well, if Jeffrey Dahmer came out and admitted everything, would everybody laugh it off and dismiss it? No, because well, why is it with witches and stuff that everybody just is dismissing this stuff? Because they've been indoctrinated from a young age that witches and all this is fiction, yet all the things that these people love and practice is a form of witchcraft, right? We see all these Disney movies, like I've mentioned a million times. We see all these Harry Potter fans, right? All these people who go through the Disney, love Disney, are obsessed with Disney. The core of it is magic, the Magic Kingdom, right? When we use the term magic in our everyday lives, magic. Our relationship's like magic. It was like magic when we first met. They don't even know what they're saying. They don't even know what they're saying. Spell casting is being used on everybody through frequencies and radio waves. So when you look at these concerts, again, how do you look at these types of things? And now people are they're like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. Wouldn't you be like concerned if you went to a concert and you were blacked out and you didn't have any liquor and any drugs and you left the concert and you were blacked out and have no recollection of it? I would think you'd go to the hospital, right? Be like, I might have amnesia or dementia or something along. No. These people, they're like, I want to go back. I want more. That's how insane they are. That's how thick the spell is on these people. Now, why are we seeing this uptick in these bizarre events over the last couple of years? Well, take a guess why. Because the frequencies and the radio waves are interacting with something that's inside of people's bodies, something that's under their skin. So when Lana Del Rey does this to an audience, it's having that effect. And the majority. That's the scary thing about what politics have become. I've said it a bunch of times. You can identify these people by how they look now. You can identify these people, their preference in the bedroom, by how they look and talk now. There's different species of humans. So the majority of people at a Lana Del Rey concert, the majority, I'd say 95+%, are liberals. Thus, that 95% of them obviously have a potion. Now, who were the people that came out right after that event and said, well, you can't come to our concert unless you have the potion. We need to see proof, et cetera, right? All of the musicians, all these people who pretended to be rebellious against the establishment, right? All of these communists who pretend like, oh yeah, Metallica's against the establishment. Oh yeah. And the Foo Fighters. Oh yeah. They want you to line up and inject yourself with something. But at the same time, these same people are like, oh yeah, we worship Satan. We're rebelling. It's just a cool metaphor. They don't realize these people are 100% going with the flow. They think in their minds, they've been convinced that they're rebelling. Every musician, every celebrity, just all on board with the Democratic agenda. And you can look at every single one of it. If you are a Democrat, these people shame you into getting the potion because they know their audience doesn't have any free thought. There's no independent thinking going on. They're part of just a giant hive mind. So they go and do these things. So we know that the people who attend these concerts, it doesn't mean every single one, of course, because there's people who are there. Maybe they got an extra ticket from somebody. Maybe they do like the music. Right? But then they're like, well, I don't really like the politics, or I don't agree with Lana Del Rey with the witch stuff, but I love the music. Okay. All right. Well, they're there, but we know the majority of people who are there are potion, because the majority of people who now attend all of these big celebrity concerts who openly admit to being Dems, we know that they're all, the people who attend these things are potion, and we know that the people who are performing the concerts are witches, right? I mean, there's evidence to Taylor Swift being a witch. I've covered it a zillion times. Right? What do you think her song Are We Out of the Woods Yet is about? It's about the witches coming out of the woods, coming into your town, right? Revealing themselves. Beyonce, right? Accused of witchcraft. The other video I have up on my other channel, or had up on Uprising Revival. Go check out that channel again. It's linked below. I'm putting up a lot of the older content that got scraped off the web so that people can see some of this stuff who are new to it. My goal is to get you to wake up and see what's going on. So when I read you a Bible verse, again, like Ephesians 2:2, start thinking that way. Start understanding that these things, while they sound crazy to you, they only sound crazy to you because of everything the television and all these people talk to you about. But if you want to believe in actual real science, science doesn't say that a man is born in the opposite body and a woman is born in the opposite body and they could castrate themselves. They're telling you that that's science. Legitimate science, if you want to use the term science, would tell us that they can use frequencies in these things because we have evidence of that with EMF readers, et cetera, where we can actually see all the frequencies coming out of things like smart devices, which I've covered in separate videos. I'll cover again for people out there. But they use these things that you can't see, right? So in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2, again, wherein in times past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. These people are the children of disobedience. These wicked people who are rich, who are famous, who have social status amongst these people, and they're using their influence to herd these people into occult practice, into all of these things that they're doing to them that they don't realize they're doing because they're not thinking, and they're using frequencies against them, right? Prince of the power of the air. It's all in front of us, but people are like, well, you're taking that verse a little bit literally. Oh yeah? I don't remember anywhere in the Bible where God says, don't take the Bible literally, only take the nice things. How many things in the Bible talk about the wickedness in this world, the darkness in this world, right? How many prophets were shown the wicked things these people were doing underground? A lot. The Bible has more of the stuff about the wicked, in my take from reading it, all the times I've read it. I mean, I zone in on that more so than the positive things because we're not of this world. So people are just too busy trying to take verses and try to make life more cozy in this world instead of just going, look, this world sucks. God told us it was going to suck, that we're not of this world. But that doesn't mean you got to be miserable. We got to fight through. We got to help lead people to God. Show them who these wicked people are. Because in the past, other Christians took care of these people. Like I've said, with private justice, they took care of them, right? They found out that this was going on, and guess what? Well, the witches weren't making it to see the next day, neither were the Satanists. Now, they're protected. Now, everybody's become soft. And even hearing somebody like, that's a threat, that's a this or that, right? Christians these days don't want to believe this stuff because they also are worshiping a lot of these false idols. But everything in the Bible is literal. And Satan is the prince of the power of the air. And they use these frequencies. So we've seen an even larger uptick in any type of bizarre behavior that's ever occurred at concerts, ever. This type of stuff has never been reported. People haven't fainted like this. There's been like crowd surfing and things like that. We've seen people leave concerts with headaches, migraines, that kind of stuff. A lot of times we've seen bizarre events because people are intoxicated. These are events that are occurring to people just based off of frequency waves, okay? These people, maybe somebody in that crowd was drunk, but was every single person there all at once, drunk, falling? What do you think? It's choreographed? Oh, they did it to go viral? People need to wake up to this stuff. It's going on. Just because you can't see it and the news doesn't report it doesn't mean it's not real. It is real. Just research all these smart devices, 5G, EMF, readers, get an EMF reader, EMF frequencies that they're using, all of it, electromagnetic fields, stuff that you do learn or used to learn in school at a young age, and nobody knew it. They're like, what? I don't know. Magnets? What? What are they doing to people? Oh, my head's going to explode. I got to get back to playing Pokemon. That's the society we live in. So Lana Del Rey doing this stuff on her audience, Taylor Swift doing it on her audience, Travis Scott, all of them. They're doing stuff on their audience. You saw the U2 video. If you didn't see it yet before I remove it, because my videos are only staying up 7 days on here, and everything's on the website. So if anybody wants to go back and rewatch stuff, it's all on the website, uprisingrevival.com. That's, with the subliminal messaging on the screen. 666, Antichrist. I mean, that video is just filled with stuff. This is what they're doing to their fans at these concerts. They're spell casting on them. Then they come out and they virtue signal. They act like they're wonderful people. Oh, Bono's doing so much for humanity. What are you doing, Mr. Eye for an Eye, or whatever your name is these days? Oh, right, I'm doing nothing. They're such wonderful people because they hold giant checks up on TV and tell everyone that they donate to all these causes. And then we see all these people dying of starvation while they have 17 homes and 7 million cars and are telling us about the climate agenda and how we need to do better. And then they're flying around in private jets, right? And they just virtue signal. Oh, come on, they're great. And they put up little clips of them hugging fans. And then everybody just cries like, oh, Taylor Swift's so great to her fans. I love Taylor Swift. I want to be Taylor Swift. People are absolute morons. They're getting worked and played, right? You ever hear the expression like, oh, yeah, so I was dating so-and-so. They played me. You're getting played by the celebrities, by politicians. They're playing you. If anybody identifies as a Democrat, you're dumb as rocks. I'm not saying to identify as a Republican either, because they're both being misled. But these people are literally, the way that Democrats live, I'm going off topic, but I just want to throw this in. Nobody's listening at this point anyway. But the way Democrats live, like they're narcissistic and they're obsessed with material goods, right? More so than conservative people are. That's pretty much a given, even though of course there's conservative people who are narcissists and also obsessed with material goods, but the majority of them. And they're pushing for what they don't even realize is communism, okay? And they don't realize that they're not going to own or have anything because all the people that they listen to and worship who are telling them to vote Democrat, like, I'm going to vote Democrat. They're all like, oh yeah, I'll vote Democrat because Taylor Swift says to, and they're all nice and they talk about love and all this stuff. You're going to own nothing. You're going to have nothing. So all these treasures that you have, whether it's adults collecting toys and memorabilia, you're not going to have any of it anymore. And you don't realize what they're doing because they just sugarcoat it and say they love and care about you and they care about this gender and they make the other side look like bullies. I mean, it's insanity if you don't see what's going on. Our country has fought against communism forever. And now we have all these adult babies who are trying to push communism on us and they don't even know what it is, right? And it's because of people like Lana Del Rey and Taylor Swift care about people's feelings, weakening people. They're voting. They don't even know that their vote doesn't count, but they're supporting all of this stuff. They're supporting enslavement. Pretty insane, right? So keep an eye on these celebrities and all these types of bizarre events that occur at concerts. Sorry I went off topic at the end, but it's important to note because these are the people who are grooming the minds, the hive mind of our society. And again, these people would not have lasted very long in past lifetimes because they would have been taken care of, because people would have taken care of them immediately when they saw that they were doing spells on anybody, right? But now we just accept it and we call it domino effect, right? Oh, people are fainting. It's the domino effect. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the domino effect, yeah. Well, the only thing that's happening is people are falling like dominoes and they can't seem to figure out why. But it's pretty easy to see with the frequencies mixed in with something else is the reason for it. I thank everyone for being here. Reminder, sub to those backup channels below and also check out uprisingrevival.com if you haven't yet. Thanks for being here, everybody. God bless all of you as always and your families.